everybody? Welcome back to NXT with Najee, a part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. This is now Season 2, Episode 2, aka Episode 22, which is kind of weird how that worked out, but here we are. We've made it. We have made it. We have now made it all the way through No Mercy. Now, when we talk about No Mercy, it's going to be very short. We're not going to sit there and go through every match. It's just a quick little recap. Long story short, every single title that was on the line got retained, except for the Tag Team Championships, which are now back with Axiom and Nathan Frazier. So not too much of a change there, but in a way it's still a change because the titles are now with somebody different. So big energy as always. Very special show in my life just because we did this as my birthday show, which was really, really cool. My birthday is actually September 7th. I'm recording this on September 6th. So it's the last time you'll hear this voice and see this face as a 33-year-old man. Even though I don't look it. But moving on to the show, great energy as always. Really nice to have my people out there. We all wear the same color. Goofy chants as always. Cleveland is always Cleveland. And will forever be Cleveland. Not the city, the human being. Look them up. Black Arrow Entertainment. Hopefully I get them on the show this season. That would be incredible. That'd be awesome. But yeah, we have the triple threat match to determine who's going to be our number one contender for the Tag Team Championships. It is the Rascals versus Hank and Tank versus Gallus. Now, the Rascals, no Wesley interference after the win by Zach, which is a big surprise for me anyways, being a West fan. Who knows what's next for Wes? Who knows what's going to happen with Wesley? But the Rascals are now in the tag team picture on NXT, which is interesting, having a TNA group kind of come over. Hopefully we get the Hardys soon. But Hank and Tank, fantastic, great energy. Never really slowed down the whole entire match. Had the crowd cracking up the whole entire match. But believe it or not, the Rascals are now our number one contenders. Number one contenders for the Tag Team Championships. But this, once again, makes me wonder, like, what's going to happen with Wesley? What's going to happen next with these guys? And it's almost like Shawn Michaels heard us and heard our cries a couple weeks ago in the last episode where we talked about how the tag team division was dying down a little bit. It seems to be gaining some more traction and getting a little more, like, excitement about it. So, now with the Rascals being the number one contender, does that mean that Wesley is going to step his game up to try to get that solo title? Do you think Wes will play his part in stopping them get the title? Or what if the Rascals win the titles? What does that mean then for him? Like, does Wes go through like a depression? like what's going to happen with that? So we're going to move on. Match number 2. We have Oro Mensah versus, I'm not going to say his real name anymore. I refuse to. Because this weekend, like I said, this week it was my birthday. I tried to get him to sign my birthday card, and he was very rude about it, and he didn't do it. So, your name is no longer Alexis King. Your name is now Alexis Jester, and that will be your name forever for me. That's it. I won't forget it. So, Oro dominated the match, period. Oro's so good. Oro's so over with that crowd, and it's not fair. Because somehow, some way, Oro keeps coming up short in these matches. And now Alexis Jester gets the win over Oro. And what is getting ready to happen next with him? Like, can he actually jump into a feud that's not so random and awkward like it was with Eddie Thorpe? Can he make a run at a title and make it believable? Can he actually like create some sort of heat with somebody and make it must-see and must-know what happens next TV? Because I'm still trying to figure out what he's going to do at NXT, Alexis Jester. Or they need to just pull the trigger on, personally. They need to give him an actual chance to win something. Maybe whenever, I don't think Oba's ever going to lose the North American Championship, but when he does, or he vacates it, Oro should probably win it. That would be my next person I think that deserves to have that title. Because he's got everything you want in a professional wrestler, and he just doesn't get his opportunity to do it. Like, fairly anyways. Like, we see it in bits and pieces, but we don't ever get a chance for Oro to be on top, to go on a winning streak, to really show up and show out. So we'll see what happens next. But Alexis Jester gets the win over Oro Mensah. Or actually chases him out of the arena after the match, which is always funny to see. But now we're moving on to match number 3. We've got Tatum Paxley versus Rosemary. This match was actually very short. It basically had a Rosemary pushing Tatum to be serious about the match, like flip the switch essentially. And as soon as she did that, I feel like she immediately regretted it because Tatum went off. Tatum went hard. Tatum wins the match. Makes it look really easy. But of course, Wendy Chu's out there with Rosemary. They both jump in the ring, get to jumping on Tatum. And surprise, surprise, I was shook. The rest of the crowd was shook. A returning Lyra Valkyria to come back and help out Tatum. And that was one of my favorite storylines from earlier in season 1. It was just weird. It was funny. It was like I said, Trish Stratus and Mickie James all over again. And she comes back later on. I know we don't normally talk about segments, but I'll mention this one. They hug it out in the ring, and then afterwards backstage, Tatum's like, I would much rather be with you than against you. So now we're getting that tag team that we've always wanted to actually happen. The tag team that Tatum's really always wanted to actually happen. So please, Shawn Michaels, I know you're listening. I'm going to keep saying this every single week. Bring back the women's tag team champions, or the championships, and give us the Tonga twins. Please. We deserve it. We deserve it so much. I think the NXT universe deserves it. I think WWE deserves it. Please bring us the Tonga twins. Those women are amazing. They deserve it. That's the most important part. They deserve it. Bring the tag titles back. Match number 4. Now, we were talking about the number 1 contenders. We're trying to figure out who's going to take on Ethan Page on that October 1st date. We got Trick Williams versus Pete Dunne. Now, everybody in the crowd, obviously behind Trick. Trick put out a music video this week, a diss track towards Pete, and "You a Butch" has been the chant of the whole entire night. Even off camera, "You a Butch, you a Butch, you a Butch." Like, we going hard on Pete. And he's pissed. He tries to walk up to the lady next to me who has a sign that says something about Butch and tries to take it from her. And she obviously backed away. I know you guys probably saw that on camera, but it was pretty funny interaction. But man, brawl. The uncontrolled emotion between the two of them ends up in a double countout. Now, it's been quite some time that I can remember anyways to where I've seen a double countout. I didn't really like the ending. I was upset about it, but the brawl continues. The rest of the crowd's still trying to figure out what's going on. And Ava decides that next week, this coming up Tuesday on NXT, it's going to be for the number 1 contenders match. And it is going to be a last man standing match. Yeah. We will definitely be having an episode next week. We're not going to do the every other week thing for this one because it's going to be good. This match is going to be really, really good. Trick is going to get a chance to show out, and I think that's what they're doing is they're really testing Trick because they want him on the main roster. Obviously, the main roster wants him on the main roster. You hear "whoop that Trick" chants everywhere you go almost. So it's time, and they just want to make sure that he's ready on all levels. So I think that that's why they're giving him these long matches, these major matches against these veterans. Now, we're going to do match number 5. Javon Evans versus Joe Coffey. Javon did what he always does and got bouncy, of course. This is a very fast-paced match with Javon using his speed to his advantage. Really had the upper hand on Joe. And, of course, Gallus tried to interfere. Surprise, surprise, though. We got a Cedric Alexander, help. Or assist. That's the best way to put it. Cedric Alexander assist. And it evened up things. Gave Javon enough time to kind of bounce back. Didn't mean to say that, but here we are. Bounce back and pick up the win over Joe. Now, I'm wondering if this means that we'll get Joe. Or not Joe, but Javon and Cedric in the tag team picture. I think that'd be another great idea in order to get that tag division right back to what we were talking about earlier. These tag teams that they're kind of cooking up are starting to look really good on paper. So we'll see what the future holds. Maybe we'll even get a match between the two of them one-on-one. But I would like to see those two tag. At least give Javon some sort of gold, because Javon will not be the one to beat Oba. It would be like Rey Mysterio beating the Big Show, and I don't know if we're ready for that to happen again. Now we're going to move on. Match number 6. Oba Femi, we were just talking about, versus Stacks. Oba dominated against Tony D. Like, it was really, really good. Tony D showed us a lot, but at the end of the day, Oba is still Oba. Oba, I guess, is still on the family's hit list. Tony T sent Stacks after him, which I don't know why. Us in the crowd, we were talking to, was it Lucian? Not Lucian, sorry, Luca. We were telling him, yo, dude, I hope you guys got good health insurance, life insurance policies, because it's game over for your boy. And just as we predicted, Oba crushed that man. So I don't know if Tony D is going to get a second shot, and that's what they're building up for. Maybe Tony D gets it the second time. But come on, bro. Just let Oba's too good. His promo was fantastic. Everything about him is fantastic. I'm not going to toot that horn any longer than I already do, because I tell you guys every single week that Oba should never lose. So now we're moving on to match number 7, the last match of the nights, with a woman who, in my personal opinion, gave us her best match at No Mercy, and that is Miss Jada Parker. Before I get to talking about tonight and her match against Jasmine Nix, I do just want to say, Jada, if you're watching, shout out. You are doing fantastic. You are one of the best, if not the most impressive, from sport to professional wrestling athletes to show up and show out. You do it every week. So we just want to give you your flowers here at the Whip Show. We want to let you know that you are incredible and root for you. But all that aside, like I said, she gave us the match of her life on Sunday and came up short. But Fatal Influence had something to say about it. Miss Parker, you made her look like $1 million. Congratulations on the win, Miss Parker. Of course, she picked it up. And right after the match, Fatal Influence jumped her. And it was interesting because we didn't see anybody come to help her. Like, no women from the locker room came to support her. So I don't know if maybe that is going to build into a storyline down the line for Jada, because she looked like she was a little disappointed that she was in the ring by herself after she got jumped. But who knows? So Shawn Michaels a hard one to read, so it's hard to predict some of these storylines, if that even is part of the storyline. But yeah, that was it for this week's edition of NXT. I had so much fun. I want to give a shout out to all of my friends that were there in that crowd for the birthday love. Everybody that signed my birthday card. It was unreal how many people signed that birthday card. I got wrestlers, commentators, interviewers. Like, it was a lot of really nice people. Shout out to Alicia Taylor. It's so nice to have you back at NXT, and we get you for another week. It's a blessing, girl. We miss you. You're killing it on SmackDown. Thank you for signing my sign. And she brought me candy. She did. During the commercial break, she walked over and gave me some candy, so shout out. But yeah, man, thank you guys for rocking with me week to week, rocking with season 2 so far. Shout out to the Whip Show, Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. I will be back, like I said, next week. It's looking good. The card is stacked. We got the tag titles on the line, with Nathan Frazier and Axiom going against the Rascals. We got an open challenge from Miss Jordan Grace from TNA. Open challenge for her title next week. So who's going to pop up? We had Chelsea Green do a cameo this week, so who's going to be next week? Who knows? Javon Evans is challenging for the Heritage Cup. And we finally get our conclusion to the Trick versus Pete saga. And we will know who will face Ethan Page on October 1st. But once again, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you guys subscribe, follow, like, share, whatever platform you're on. Just show some love, because the love's always here. Appreciate you guys. It's Najee. See you next week. So right. So right.